There has been some significant changes in the way our parliament is operating. Uh, Before independence, when we had an old constitution, we had only one committee, that is the Senate Committee on Supply, only one. But when Speaker Ndebele took over the speakership, he started on parliamentary reforms from 1996 up to 1998, where he visited quite a number of parliaments to find out how effective the parliamentary processes were. And his investigations with a team of the Parliamentary Reform Committee concluded that without a very strong committee system, Parliament would not be effective at all. And he then introduced several committees, portfolio committees for that matter, which would oversight particular ministries, and also suggested through the Reform Committee the establishment of thematic committees that would look at the policies of government, analyze them, and come up with some suggestions as to how best these policies can be implemented for the common good of the people of Zimbabwe. It now has emerged that the reforms that Dr. Ndebele introduced have validated the fact that the committee system is the engine of parliamentary processes, in the sense that the committees are able to dissect certain areas of concern in the governance of our country. And so far, we've taken leaf from the reform programs that was recommended by the Reform Committee. That is why we now conduct induction workshops for every portfolio committee and thematic committee, so that we can capacitate them in order to be able to fulfill their constitutional mandate in the three areas of legislation, representation, and oversight. To that extent, therefore, there has been a big difference between the pre-independence parliamentary processes and the post-independence parliamentary processes. And more so when we came up with the 2013 Constitution, which in fact clearly states that Parliament must do a robust oversight over the state government and its agencies at every level, so that we improve the governance of our country, again for the sake of the common good of the people of Zimbabwe. Well, before independence, you cannot speak of domination by white members of parliament. It was a white parliament with what I may call a token of representation. I think there were only 15 members selected by the regime then, and 15 black people in parliament did not pervasively represent the aspirations of the black people. So to say that the parliament pre-independence was mainly dominated by whites is an understatement, because the people were in charge were the white legislatures, and they were there to protect their white interests, their settler interests, and not the interests of the black majority. Partial of the parliamentary debate. To that extent, I'm very happy so far that the members of parliament are performing very well, and it is hoped that this performance will be sustained in the whole life of the 10th parliament. We are very happy that the president in the Second Republic, President Dr. Zim Advocate, has insisted that development must leave no one, no place behind. And this has led to the amendment of the Constitution, Amendment number 1, Amendment number 2, which has validated the presence of 60 members of parliament on proportional election up until 2033. And then introduction of 30% of women in local authorities, as well as having 10 youths in the National Assembly, one each from our provinces. To that extent, parliamentary processes have been very inclusive, and it is my hope that this scenario will help parliamentary processes in ensuring that there's no one left behind and no place is left behind in terms of representation. To that extent, we should applaud the Second Republic led by Dr. Zim Advocate, that the percentage of especially the women in parliament is now at 34%, which is much higher than what you get in Western countries, including Europe, whose average is 25%. So we in Zimbabwe, and I want to believe in the rest of Africa, we've done extremely well in terms of the growth of women's representation in our parliament. And of course, the shining beacon is Rwanda, where they've got 60% of female members of parliament in their parliament. This is never heard of in any part of the world. So I think Africa will follow the lead of Rwanda in ensuring that we get more and more women in parliament. After all, in terms of population statistics, the demographics indicate that women are between 52-53% of the men's folk, and to that extent they deserve to be represented at a higher percentage than men. We look forward to the celebration of our independence. Our independence marks a very important milestone in terms of the level of representation in parliament by the black majority. I think that is the greatest bonus of our independence. If we didn't have our independence, we should still be outside the processes of parliament. But independence has ushered in the majority, the black majority in parliament, and we are happy that we continue to uphold the significance and critical role of our independence in terms of giving us a new complexion of parliament in terms of the greater representation of the black majority in our parliament.